Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 5 of our Legacy Cut commentary series. We post new episodes for this series every Friday, exploring the film and explaining our changes we made so that you as an audience get a better understanding of what our thought processes are and where we're coming from. Thank you for joining us as we attempt to build a better episode 7. Also, please consider joining our Subscribe Star. It allows us to better connect with you, show you full clips of sequences YouTube doesn't allow us to post, and we also post in-depth updates to each one of our cuts, various behind-the-scenes photos and videos, new artwork, and more. We've posted 5 new updates alone this week. If this sounds good to you, or if you'd simply like the opportunity to see one of our cuts a whopping 2 months earlier than everyone else when the films are released to the general public, please feel free to join our Subscribe Star. The link is in the description. Now, with the introductions out of the way, let's jump into our commentary. Picking up where we left last time, we see that Rey and Finn have been captured by Han and Chewie aboard the Millennium Falcon. Not soon after this, a noise is heard and Finn asks Han if he's hauling Rathtars. Now, in the original cut, Han replies with, "I'm hauling Rathtars." But this exchange seems slightly out of place, as Han has demonstrated in the past a propensity to ignore questions being asked to him, especially by Leia, and instead focus on what he's doing when he finds himself in a high-stress situation. With Han trying to figure out what that sound is, he isn't interested in answering questions from some kid he just met stowing away on his Falcon. Plus, Han does point out a Rathtar to Finn and Rey later on in this sequence. Now, when Finn asks Han if he has Rathtars, Han simply ignores Finn and replies with, "Oh great, it's the Guavian Death Gang." Once the Rathtars escape, a quick clip shows Finn and Rey crawling under a walking grate. Finn says, "This was a mistake," and Rey says, "Huge." The film then returns to a shot of a Kanji Club thug shooting at a Rathtar. But in order to maintain the momentum of this film, as well as reduce yet another attempt at forced comedy, this quick exchange between Finn and Rey has been cut. Now, we see the Rathtar attacking various members of a gang, and then we cut to the specific thug shooting at a Rathtar. Soon after this, Finn and Rey emerge from under the walking grate, and they begin running down a hallway. Rey asks Finn, "What do they look like?" Obviously referring to the Rathtar. They turn around the corner, and they see a Rathtar. Finn then says, "They look like that." Rey puts her hand over her mouth in disgust, Finn pulls her arm, and then they run away. But the issue here is Rey's dialogue isn't needed since literally half a second later the beast is shown, and Finn's commentary isn't needed here either because we as the audience can see what a Rathtar looks like. As in earlier in the film, the characters are making statements they wouldn't make in the original or prequel trilogy, and while Rey's statement isn't out of place necessarily, it is out of place in terms of how the scene evolves, and it shows that her question is quickly answered 1 second later. In the Legacy cut, Finn and Rey emerge from under the walking grate, run into Rathtar, Rey puts her hand over her mouth in disgust, Finn pulls her arm, and then they run away. Soon after, the two are again seen running through the tunnels of the ship. Finn exclaims, "This way." Now, this phrase, as well as the phrase, quote, "follow me," is used throughout Disney's sequel trilogy heavily. If you watch the trilogy thinking about this, you'll likely be surprised how often characters say "this way" or "follow me." The dialogue is a bit unnecessary here because Finn doesn't know where he's going anyway. He's never been in this ship. So we've simply removed it. Instead, we now see the characters running when a Rathtar grabs Finn's leg and begins to pull him away. But also during this same sequence, Finn repeatedly yells for Rey. These yells have been removed, as all Finn seems to do in the film is yell for Rey in various locations. Also, Finn's line of, quote, "It had me," with the door, and Rey's, quote, "That was lucky" quips have been removed, again, to maintain the momentum of this scene. The last major edit to the sequence involves Han's issue with getting the Falcon to start. During this scene, the famously unreliable Millennium Falcon won't start, and Han is quickly problem-solving when Rey points and says, "Compressor." Now here's the issue with this scene. Han knows this ship intimately. He's made modifications to it himself, he knows how to work on it and repair it himself, and he understands what adding a compressor would do to his ship. Rey has already told him early in the film that a compressor was added by Unger Plutt, so Han is fully aware of the compressor's installation. As a result, he doesn't need to be told how to start his own ship, which he has flown for decades, by someone else. Han is the better pilot, clearly, and as a result should know how to fix this issue without help. In the Legacy Cut, Han troubleshoots the issue, finds the correct button, presses it, and they're off. The Force Awakens intentionally tries to paint Han as a deadbeat father who abandons his wife and goes gallivanting around the galaxy with his best friend Chewie. This arc removes all the character building we see with Han during the original trilogy because this film brings him back right where he started, smuggling. It also goes to great lengths to paint Han as an idiot who doesn't know things like how to start the Falcon with a compressor, or how powerful Chewie's bowcaster is. At Fixing Disney Star Wars, we're trying to remove these issues within the film so that Han can be given the dignity and respect he deserves as a character. Well, that'll do it for episode 5 of our Legacy Cut commentary series. Next week, we'll be diving into the first on-screen appearance of Snoke, and we'll talk about how we've added hints of Palpatine's eventual return within this scene. It should be a rather interesting episode, so we hope that you'll join us. Thank you again for all of you supporting us, watching our videos, and leaving us comments and likes. We couldn't do any of this without you, and we are so grateful to all of you. Also, a very big special thank you to our latest Subscribe Star member, Scott V. We appreciate your support, Scott. Until next time, may the Force be with you.